Fit for Life Radio, episode 51. I'm your host, Gary Deagle, here with Will,
What's up?
and our guest this week is John Pina.
What's up? What's up?
He is the father of three, husband of one, and owner of the Proper Barbershop in Newport News, Virginia, and client at Coastal Strength and Fitness, which is how I guess we initially met. Did you just roll in here one day? Did you see a Facebook ad?
It was a Groupon at that point.
Mhm.
And it was actually Samantha that wanted to come, so we decided to check it out. But it was just,
Yeah.
I was just coming for her,
Yeah,
give her support.
that's how most of the husbands start out here.
Yeah,
Or most of the guys in general are husbands, and
yeah.
they kind of slide
get
in.
dragged in.
Yeah.
And then I never.
There's always that resistance with a lot of them, especially like the old school guys. They're like, "Nah, I don't want anybody to tell me what to do,"
Yep.
and then they come in and they love it.
That's not John though.
Nah,
Well,
nah,
at that
nah.
point when I came in, it was I think I was the only guy in that class.
Mm-hmm.
The 9:30, the 8:30, I think
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
we had a lot less guys.
In general, and then
Oh,
that
yeah.
that time also is typically ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you're still here. Here you
Still
are.
here, man.
So today, yeah, we want to kind of share some of John's story. Obviously, he's a busy guy. Ups and downs, got a lot going on.
Mhm.
But yeah, you still manage and you know learn each time to where then maintenance hopefully feels a little easier, or at least you know when you're off your game. You know.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about. Let's see. So for also we had Shannon on, who was owner of Coastal Real Estate, and you're the owner of the Proper Barbershop, which before, so that's been just a little over a year.
Mhm.
And before that, you were a teacher. So we have lots of teachers as well. But you
Mhm.
want to talk about that transition from teacher to business owner and how it kind of affected your schedule and timing and personal, like when I'm going to go to the gym and all that stuff.
Oh, dude, it's I don't even know where to begin. That's a heavy question. Well, when I was teaching, I just had a set schedule, so I was able to make it here in the morning. Um, it was just something that I did, before I went to work. Now that I'm a business owner, I like to keep it consistent. I think the issue now is the spouse sees it as now you have time,
Mhm.
go whenever you want or whenever you can. Um,
Yeah.
but I try to keep it always at the same time, just to
Yeah.
keep it going.
Yeah, when you have your own business and you don't have to physically be there,
Be there, exactly.
then all of a sudden, to pretty much everyone on planet Earth,
Things that you could do.
you have no schedule.
Nothing to exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, everybody sees it like, oh, now you could go at 3:30 or 5:30.
Yeah.
But for me, I try to keep it consistent. Even
And
though
it-
I don't have to be here that early in the morning.
Yeah. It's crazy, like how you end up gravitating more to really like principles from the military. Like, I got to create my own schedule, I got to do this.
Mhm.
So it's like you almost have more militant timing when you have more free time and no one telling you what to do, or at least to make it work. And then also the importance of environments.
No, absolutely.
It's funny just juggling. Um, so like here with the gym, right? So it's a hard environment, and I had gyms before this for 4 years. It was always hard for me to train at my gym, even when I used to just be a trainer at one Gold's Gym. It was hard because like that's your work environment. I was
Mhm.
actually thinking the other day when I was driving how I've been working in a gym since I was 20. Like it's the only really adult work environment I know.
Job.
And yeah, so
In
that's where
quotes.
like, oh, I got to clean, I got to do paperwork, I got to do all
Mhm.
this. So I have to kind of find something else to be my gym environment. And then even it's funny even for working, right? Well, then when I'm here at the gym and clients are here, you end up talking and doing
Mhm.
that, and I can have the intention of I need to do A, B, and C that need to get
Mhm.
done. And it's funny, in the old location, we never had an office. I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to have an office. Now we have an office, and I still don't get anything done. So
Yeah.
I have to come in like the middle of the day or an
Mhm.
hour or two before the classes start. But even then, I get distracted somehow.
Yeah.
So I noticed the other day I went to a coffee shop and I got so much work done.
Absolutely.
Because that's just like an environment where that's all I know. You know, I'm just sitting there. No one's talking
Mhm.
to me. This is all I really do here is this work.
It's work, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be quite honest, I'm still trying to find the perfect place for me to do that. I've
Yeah.
tried and I've dabbled, doing it at the shop, doing it
Mhm.
before everybody wakes up, doing it at night, doing it at a coffee shop. It's I'm still trying to find that place for me.
Yeah.
Um,
And as someone now who's been, coming to the gym and working out for years, what importance do you place on the gym being that environment, yeah, where you don't have to worry about um, all those things and you can just kind of carve out an hour for you?
Actually, it's important. That's funny you say that because I was talking to Samantha about that. Like yesterday, I made it to the gym after stuff happened, so I
Hmm.
wasn't able to make it. But just being able to come in, the workout's done. People that I know, it's like the perfect environment
Yeah.
for someone, like for anybody, but specifically like an entrepreneur that your mind is always busy doing something else. So it's important to just go to a gym where pretty much everything is taken care of for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also doubles as social.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. I mean, someone yesterday, while he was here, commented on my hair and asked where I got a cut.
There you go. And
No,
advertisement too. Yeah.
So, like, I mean, for him being
Oh, yeah.
places too helps.
yeah, that's a write-off, man.
There you go. Yeah.
gotta start writing your
Hey,
membership
Can
off.
I do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can try. I don't know if you
Yeah,
can.
No,
no,
you
yeah.
definitely can.
Can
yeah.
you?
I mean, if you're
Oh.
getting, I mean, you can easily trust me. They got other
Mm.
bigger fish to fry and you legit can be meeting
Now
people.
this is being recorded, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, this is being
They come out
recorded.
it.
This is evidence.
But all right, let's talk about. So you do own a barber shop, which a lot of guys coming through, and one thing we talk about all the time is how. So that's an environment also for
Mhm.
guys to talk and chat and hopefully be comfortable to talk about things they normally wouldn't
To
talk
relax.
Mhm.
about. Yeah, which nowadays is like happens less and less
Absolutely.
because you have guys who. So we used to see this when I was working with Jay Ferrugia in California for his events. And the guys, would fly out and we put them through workouts and then they would open up and talk. And a lot of these guys, they owned their own businesses. They were super successful. Typically, they were in like their 40s and 50s and they had, families and kids.
Mhm.
But so they built up this wall of like, I'm the strong, I have to be the strong one. I can't show any emotion. I can't show weakness. And then as we age, we naturally drift away from our friends, guy friends
Mhm.
specifically. And, well, yeah, and you don't have many girlfriends.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
kinda
yeah,
gets,
yeah,
yeah. So that gets shut down. But yeah, and then there's no outlet, right?
Absolutely.
And then it builds up, right? So in a way, obviously events like that are great because you go, but the problem with those, in my experiences, with any kind of event like that, you go and it's like life changing and you do it and you're in that environment and then you go back home
Mhm.
to your other environments and
Wait,
it
wait
just
another year for.
you just fall
Yeah,
back
yeah,
into
yeah,
your old stuff.
yeah.
Where something, like going to the gym, going to the barber shop, those are little micro environments that you hopefully you can do more frequently.
Absolutely.
And yeah, connect and do those things.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean the genesis of the barbershop, I think, told you is that a safe space for men just to be vulnerable and open up.
Mm-hmm.
Just be you and know that it's a safe zone. So if you want to talk about relationships or things, life, work, whatever, that's a place to do it. Without any judgment.
Yep. So I mean, I enjoy going and really, I could do, I have no hair and just buzz it and could trim
There
my
you go,
beard,
yeah.
trim my beard at home. And it's funny in this another entrepreneur thing, right? Your brain's always on. I'll go to
Mm.
Target and notice something, but yeah, the main reason I go there is for the environment. And I enjoy it.
Absolutely,
And that's ultimately to me what I'm paying for.
Mhm.
Because I could do it at home, and part of me is sad that I don't have my hair like I used to, because it's a real haircut,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like the difference of a barbershop and the barbers, and
Absolutely.
not that the supercut ladies don't have their own skill, but they're not cutting guys' hair all the time.
Mhm.
It's not the same.
It's a whole different thing, man.
I would have so many haircuts where I would go look at, and I'm not the type. I'm super non-confrontational, so I would just
So you just leave.
be
Yeah.
Bro,
like,
this is
wow,
my
this is
favorite.
awful. Go home and just buzz my head.
Yeah.
You guys
yeah.
have no idea how many times Gary has gotten a haircut. Well, in the past when he used to go to Supercut, he went to a different place every
every-
time.
Every
Every time, he
like
never went.
Yeah,
Never went to the same place. And after every cut, he's like, "Man, I just didn't like the cut." Every time, I'm like, "Why don't you go to the same place?" He's like, nah, I'm all right." Now look at him,
There you go.
all grown up,
Yeah.
going to the same place every time.
Yeah.
Every time, every you know,
That doesn't
same
even
time.
matter.
Yeah.
Dude, when I get locked in, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Like, I had a barber in Norfolk, who was legit. I actually followed him from Virginia Beach, and like he had cut my hair for years, and I'll go wherever you're going. Because like finding a good barber's hard, man.
Absolutely. It's like a
Like,
dentist or a
yeah,
mechanic.
man.
You know,
Like
you don't.
it's tough, and like finding someone that you trust to cut your hair and all that. Like, dude, it's
Yeah.
hard. So, and then now, like, I'm locked in, at your barbershop. Always get a good cut, but like, it's hard to find
Absolutely.
someone who's good. I think,
Yeah.
and you got to kind of hold on to it.
That was the biggest struggle. Is finding. I mean, there's a lot of people that cut hair,
Yeah,
but there's very few, I believe, barbers. People that actually care
yeah,
for the not only the art, but just for the what you're providing.
yeah.
to
The
the
service,
client,
the person you're helping.
exactly.
You're helping somebody, even if it's just hair.
Yeah.
Like you're helping someone feel good.
And that's the thing. Like we always
Yeah.
talk about, like
Well-
at the shop, is like for me personally, like when I get my hair cut, I look good, but then it also makes me feel good. And when I feel good, I
Bro.
just want to do like good stuff,
Dude,
just
me on
be-
haircut day, I feel
E-
good.
Exactly.
That's it. Like that might be like, like your peak day
Yeah.
when you get a haircut.
And I say like, and I always kind of tying it back to the gym, is it all kind of started at the gym. I mean, a lot of people, like for us, it's a 45-minute to an hour transformation. You get a haircut, you feel it immediately, right?
Mhm.
Same with the gym. When you work out, unfortunately, it takes it's a way longer. And a lot of people
Longer than
now it's
45 minutes.
going back to people want instant gratification. It just takes
Yeah.
way too long. But it's the same feeling of transformation.
Yeah.
Just
And it's tied to typically, especially with guys, major milestones in their life,
Mhm.
right? Because guys are normally like, oh, I got to go get a haircut when it's I'm
Wedding, yeah,
meeting the
graduation,
parents,
exactly.
wedding,
Mhm.
graduations, like holidays. So then they're going to be in pictures where they're going to see him forever,
Mhm.
And if they got a good cut and felt good that day, like they're going to remember that and tie
Absolutely.
that to that experience. Kind of like
Absolutely.
we talk about with, when you're having food, right? Like, if you have pizza every day, you're eating it over a table with your coworkers on a Tuesday. It's like that's not memorable,
Mm.
Like
It's just
skip on that,
normal.
right?
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
you're tied in, family night, and you watch a movie. Like you tie it to the experience. It helps enhance everything.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
great things about a barbershop compared to say just a regular, haircut
Mhm.
place is, that it does create and cultivate an environment for for guys like that. So and women have been doing it for
Forever.
eons, right? They have no
Yeah.
problem doing
Yeah.
it. They go and chat and spend the time there and don't mind spending the money on it.
Mhm.
And it's really now as barbershops are getting more popular, guys are kind of catching on to some of that
Yeah.
just self-care and taking that time
And it's,
out for yourself.
dude, it's worth it.
I think,
Oh my God, is it worth it?
and it's something that I learned from you, Gary, is just get him through it. Because I know once they go through the doors and they experience a cut, I mean, our retention is extremely high, which is amazing, right? It speaks highly of what we're doing
Yeah.
within our doors. But they just need to come in,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
experience it.
That's
And
that's the hard part, right?
that's the hard part. Yeah.
Like that's what we run into. I mean, it's just any business, but like getting people in the door. Once they come in the door, especially like at the gym,
Mhm.
like if they come in the door, the majority of people will like what we do and
Absolutely.
will want to try it and experience it. And the same thing with the barbershop. Dude, people come in, they get a cut, they're like, all right, yeah, like I like that. I want to do it again.
Mhm,
And then you got a repeat customer
There
that
we
you
go.
got. That's easy.
Now let's dive into some fitness stuff. So I think a good example a lot of people will benefit from is John, and so being a smaller guy, so like of stature. So how tall are you?
You want me to go on? No, I'm, on a good day, I'm close 5'5", but 5'4" is
5'5". And then I know you've had some phases where you really cut down and lean
Mhm,
down
mhm.
to where you're like, seeing it working.
exactly.
And a big thing is, I mean, you'll attest to this, is eventually dialing in the nutrition, right?
Absolutely.
And ultimately, it's easy to, and I'm naturally a smaller guy, and you always want to have big eye complex, and we want to like, maybe whatever, you'll pull up the Muscle and Fitness and see the Rock's meal plan.
Mhm.
It's like 4,000 calories.
That's my whole week.
Yeah, and people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna follow this," but ultimately for you, And like kudos, like people get so tied to having some perfect plan, and like, well,
Hmm.
this is what's supposed to happen and work. But it's like you just have to look at the stuff and then adjust. And you had to get down to like 1,600 calories or so,
Hmm.
16, 17, which makes sense for your total body weight, lean body mass. But sometimes it's hard for people to really just do what works.
Absolutely.
And so for you, let's talk about some of the strategies that helped. So I'll lay them out a little, and then you tell me like how, yeah, that was a turn.
Okay.
Just kind of talk
Sounds
about
good.
it. So I know one is ultimately when you are dieting, and in general, this is great for a lot of ladies too who are going to be at that calorie amount, is eating smaller meals.
Hmm.
So like just 3 meals as opposed to the old school, like I'm gonna have 6 meals a day. Um, so was that something you before Coastal and after Coastal? Like we kind of harp on it.
I mean, before Coastal, honestly, I never really measured or even
Hmm.
look at what I was doing. I mean, completely honest. I
Yeah.
just
Just
whatever
ate
was, I just ate. Like it
12
was,
meals a day.
I don't even. It was 12, 10. It just happened.
One
Yes.
11-hour meal.
Yeah. So after, definitely looking at what I consume. Even now with things going on in my life that I can't really control, I just try to be consistent of 3 meals.
Yeah.
Like just keep it simple.
What other strategies kind of help you out a lot, especially when you're in that mode, or when you're, you know, getting your leanest as far as the nutrition, like
That or
foods and
like you mentioned, I'm small, and I know when I started counting my calories on on the app or
hmm
whatnot, um, it's just changing certain things. So like my meat, the ground beef,
hmm
just doing a higher what is it,
or leaner
meat,
cut, yeah, because
instead of
that's saving calories,
saving calories.
same amount of food though,
Exactly.
That's the
volume-wise.
easy one.
That was
Yeah.
one. Or I don't know, but like olive oil
hmm
versus the olive oil spray. So using the sprays, cutting
Yeah.
some,
You're gonna
so
be able to manage your portions a lot
managing
easier.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that I never was big on. I mean, for me personally, I mean, to be honest, is also cutting down beer
Yeah.
or liquid calories,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because those add up way too
And
quickly.
now you're the type of guy, or were, or can catch yourself like. So did you enjoy drinking beer like every day? Was it an everyday thing?
Um, at times,
Yeah.
but not. I wouldn't say every day. It was more like every weekend,
hmm
and it was never one. That's the thing. It was never one for me.
Yeah.
It was 2 to 3, and then it got to like 4.
Yeah. Then do you
Uh,
start like kind of
oh,
getting the
that spirals
eating and
into.
stuff with it?
That's the problem with. I think not just me, but guys that drink is. It's not the calories of the beer or the whatever you're drinking. It's the next step,
Yeah.
which is eat the whole pizza or eat the chips, eat the your kid snacks and.
Now, when you have like some weekends where you don't drink and you're managing that with your goals, like what do you miss? Do you miss it? Do you notice anything different? Like, um,
Not at all. Actually, on the contrary, I know at this point it doesn't serve.
especially if it's just like you
It
do.
it was just because it was there.
Yeah.
If I go somewhere and it's there, I just no time to will about that. If it's there, it's just there.
Yeah.
But just having it not there
Yeah. And I
makes
think I think for a lot of people, it's with drinking, it's you have to look at it and be like, why am I doing this,
exactly.
right? And it's like, are you just bored at home and so you're gonna drink? Okay, that doesn't make. I mean, there's other stuff you can do, right?
Absolutely.
Where say you're going out, and for perfect example, we went to the Ironclad
Hmm. Hmm.
Distillery with a buddy, and I know for me, so really the only reason I would drink, like I just don't enjoy it enough, just as flavor for flavor. Like so, if I'm gonna have extra fun calories, I'd rather it be food.
Hmm.
But so it lost my train of thought. Oh, I know. So yeah, so essentially, it's I do enjoy it. It's nice, yeah, to have a little buzz and like
Hmm.
you loosen up and stuff. So the great thing is you can do that like on the cheap for calories. So I know like, oh, I'll eat really light beforehand, so I don't
Hmm.
have much in my stomach. And then we had a flight of the whiskey,
Hmm.
which I do enjoy, like tasting the different flavors and
Hmm.
stuff. And that flight was like 2 ounces, and I was like
You're buzzed.
buzzing pretty
Yeah. Yeah.
hard,
Yeah. Yeah.
just and so like you get the job done.
Hmm.
You're talking, you're conversing with friends, you're in a fun environment. All the elements are there of what you typically would be looking for, right?
Absolutely.
Um, so Yeah, you just have to plan and just kind of, divvy it out like that. A few weekends before, Will and we went to a fundraiser event at the
Mm-hmm.
brewery, and I had three beers.
Yep.
So,
Same.
and I, was feeling all
Bro,
right,
I
and
felt those.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but it's like, yeah, don't eat a ton. That's the biggest thing, man. Just don't. If you scarf down a ton of food too, that's gonna mess up your butt. You're gonna have to drink more to
Yep.
get the same
To get
effect.
yeah.
Yeah, so you go light and then 2 drinks is all you need. At least
Yeah.
for me. I'm a lightweight.
And that's the other thing. If you don't do it all the time, that's gonna help you be
Absolutely.
a
It makes it
lightweight.
easy.
And then, and I used to drink all the time when I was in college and younger, and
Man.
yeah, I mean that's, you kind of move on from that, but then there's strategies to still include it in your
Absolutely.
lifestyle.
If
And
you
but
still want, yeah.
yeah, but if you're drinking every day, what that is, that's so it might be stress relieving, right? But that's
Absolutely.
just a habit that you've chosen. Like now you have this trigger and this habit of every time I get home from work, I have 2 beers to relieve stress. Well, honestly, that's not like the greatest habit to have,
No,
especially.
exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it was. It was literally a habit that it wasn't
Mhm.
easily broken, but it was just replaced with whatever, like seltzer water, you
Yep.
know. Um, it was just like at time, normally go to the fridge, grab one,
Yeah.
It's just replacing that or just getting rid of it. And
Yep. Yeah. So that's how we handle it with most clients is try to get them,
Yeah.
to look at it and be like, what's the trade-offs? What are you
Mm.
trying to accomplish with this? And I think a lot of people don't even take the time to do that, right?
Not at
Especially
all.
you have like wine drinkers
Well, it's
and
just automatic. It's just
It's
no one even stops to think about the why and the
with
what
any
am I even doing right now?
yeah,
How much am I drinking and things like that.
and with anything we eat, right? Like think about it. Someone could go and you could, have a box of Cheez-Its at home and eat half the box while you're like waiting for dinner. And
Yeah.
it's like if you step back, you're like,
Why
what,
did
what are we looking to
Yeah.
achieve here?
Yeah,
Like,
why did I do that?
what was this something I was looking forward to all day? If it was,
you got a problem there, yeah.
like
And
that.
then did I even enjoy what I
Yeah.
just did?
Yeah.
Half
I
the
would say
time
most
you
people do not enjoy
Dude,
that.
half the
though,
time
yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
even gonna
Yeah.
remember that
Uh,
you ate a half a box
mhm.
of Cheez-Its a
Absolutely.
day
And
later.
then it's like, if that wasn't there, would you even thought about it?
Not at
You
all.
know?
Yeah. Versus like if you go somewhere, for a specific type of food, like there's a steakhouse that has amazing steaks and you got to dinner with somebody and you have like the best steak you've ever had. Like you're probably
Yeah.
gonna remember like the time you
Absolutely.
had that steak
Mhm.
at that place because it's an experience and it's something special and you don't have that steak every single day. Like that is way different than crushing that
hmm
half box of Cheez-Its that tomorrow you'll forget.
Yeah. And then that becomes a habit when you eventually like cut it out.
Mhm.
We have actually I was loading up the refrigerator with the groceries and I saw where like in this tray. So this is how little Alexis and I drink at home. There was some like 2 White Claws that are still left over from
From the summer.
the summer, right? From the beach when we went to
It's
the
almost a
beach.
year
Yeah.
ago.
Bro, that was August.
Yeah, August 2nd or something. Then there's some wine bottles from when we bought our house that were gifted to us. So that was a year ago almost.
If you know me, you know I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's 1 scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
And there was some champagne too that some probably get like and then there was like 3 or 4 beers, like manly beers that I got when my
manly beers.
And
IPAs
the
or-
in-laws and uncles were coming over, like they were visiting for Christmas.
You had to look good.
And we were showing them the new house. So I went and bought some beers because my father-in-law came over 2 other times before, and there's no beer, and he like let me
called you
know,
out, yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And I was like, oh, I better go get this. And then, so I was like at the grocery store, like, man, there's like 40 million different beers now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Standing there. And I was like, this is it. These are the ones, you know. And then I got like a 12-pack, and then they only drank like 2 of them. I was like, man, they're gonna sit there until next Christmas.
Till
probably.
forever.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so it's just, you know, but you know, she goes out with friends and we'll have margaritas and stuff or wine, but we just do it all socially and you know, when you're out and
Same.
about and yeah, and it works.
We have, like, we're the worst. Well, I say the worst. Like, we'll get, like, some cider, and we'll drink one each, and then it'll sit there for, like, 9 months. And then we're like, like, it's been sitting there forever. And then if we want it again, we'll buy another 6, and we'll drink 2.
Dude.
And then the 4 will just sit there for another 6 to 9 months, and rinse, repeat. That's our drinking life.
Yeah.
Or unless we go out somewhere, and there's, you know, with friends and stuff. But, yeah. Outside of that, we just,
Mm.
rather have food.
I just equate it all to like what I could be having,
Dude,
you
same.
know. So if
Wow.
I had like 3 IPAs, that's 600 calories. That's 700 calories probably.
That's a
I'm
burger
like,
right there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
burger, a good one, or it's like a half a pint of a
Good ice cream.
decadent
Yeah.
Diego ice cream.
Which is going to
Diego-
be way better than IPA.
So, and that's where, you know, and we talk about this all the time in today's world. So you could hear that and be like, that's sounds weird or obsessive. But here's the bottom line is, yeah, if it was like 80 years ago or more, most of this stuff didn't exist in this convenient way. We would be able to auto-regulate and kind of go off our appetite. But now the food environment's different.
Mhm.
You know, it's just way different.
Just everywhere.
So it's that you have to account for it somehow. Like literally, that's how you have to fend. And when you don't, we see what happens. Like
Mhm.
the country's rampantly becoming obese. You know, and it starts at a super young age,
Mhm.
and that's because of the food environment. It's not like people's fault. It's just that it's available, it's easy, it's high calorie, and if you're not aware, if you're not thinking like that, you're going to struggle.
Yeah. Well, most people have no idea how much they eat. Like remotely have no idea like how many calories they should eat, how many they're eating, and most people just don't even take the time to acknowledge that. And it's funny, some people are like, "Oh, like I'm not losing weight, but I just don't want to ever track."
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that was honestly when I said I don't know what I was eating. When I started tracking, that's when I noticed it was for me snacking. Like I said, beer, but it was more snacking. Just you just snack
Dude,
thousands of calories.
Dude, I'm
just-
committed. I mean, I'm committed to like. There needs to be a book that's just like don't snack. And there's one page and then it's the end. Like
Yeah.
we see so many different
can
types
you
of people
can
and,
you please do that?
and everyone. That's it, dude.
I'll buy one.
No one's meal. Like people think their meals are bad. They're like, oh, I had spaghetti, and it's like, well, you look at it, it's like, okay, your spaghetti dinner was like 500-600
Yeah,
calories.
like it's not
Mhm.
bad.
Like if you
It's
did
not,
that
yeah.
3 times a day, like you'd probably be losing weight.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's always like all those snacking and
Yeah,
mindless
you
stuff.
had 5 Reese's
Yeah.
mini
That's what
cups
it was.
earlier,
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it was.
and a
It-
coffee, and
Yeah, and not even. And then the problem is people healthy snacks.
oh
right?
god, let's get going.
Because
yeah, yeah.
marketing, right? You could have Teddy Grahams and it says 12 whole grams on the
Oh,
box. and
God.
With
then-
protein.
Yeah, people think it's healthy. Or then you'll get people who are like, hey, can you tell me some healthy snacks
Mhm.
to eat? But the thing is, like, so say we take you and you were snacking before and you said, what are some healthy snacks? And if you just replaced your 800 calories of snack food with 800 calories of healthy
food,
snack food,
mhm.
like nothing.
Still 800
Yeah.
calories.
Mhm.
And here's the thing, it's not really healthy, right? So you
Nope.
want a healthy snack food?
Zero
eat
snack
3
food.
times. Yeah.
Or have a chicken breast, you know?
No.
Oh, you don't want the chicken breast? Well, guess what? You're
That's,
not that hungry.
that's the Ben technique.
Yeah.
If you don't want to eat some dry ass chicken breast, then you're not really hungry, and you probably shouldn't eat.
Yeah.
That's a good check-in.
But yeah, so we have like you know, coming to the gym, learning how much you were eating,
Mhm.
cutting out the snacking, and then eating protein-based meals essentially.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing groundbreaking.
I mean, it was, and I tell you all the time, I think people don't want to hear that, you know, but it's actually very simple. Not easy, but simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just told me, you know, it took me some years. I'm not gonna lie, I've been a member now with 4,
Mhm.
maybe 5 years.
But it's a process.
it's a process, and once it hit, like mentally, it hit.
Mhm.
I was like, all right, maybe.
Well, and the problem is when the process starts, and I remember you were like this. So it's like 2 weeks in, and you are doing it, and it's hard at first. It's a lot of change, and then you're losing weight, and then people think, okay, what's next? What else?
Mhm.
And then we're
You're
just
It's
like,
like,
that's
no,
it.
that's
Keep on
it.
doing it. Exactly. Yeah.
That's the
just
thing.
just keep
Just
doing
keep
it.
doing it. Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
and then that's where it gets hard because then it's like, oh, then it's boring, right? Then no one's there to pat you in the back every.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not new.
It's not exciting anymore.
And it's just like, hey, like, is this who you are?
No.
Um,
And that's why I think it's, especially being a dad, business owner, it's actually better for you just to keep it simple,
yeah,
instead of
decision-
Less to worry
thinking about.
about.
I don't like I know what I would eat. I cooked it way before, Sunday, or I did, I think, twice a week, Sunday and
Mhm.
Wednesday. It was just there,
Yeah.
I got hungry, I just microwaved it and off we
then-
go.
So then on that, and I know like you too, like you're working towards abs, and that's something you really want to get to that point. And in general, I was talking about this with Diego. So and these are two separate goals. So if you're listening, like, look, abs don't equal like
Health.
Health. They're not. It's not like healthier than this or that. It's just you can be really healthy with them. It's just a body composition goal.
Yep.
And now to get to maybe that, we'll call it an above average level of leanness
Mhm.
and maintain it. So one of the most common things I've seen of everyone I know that when I think about that's like maintains that level of leanness eats the same food every day.
Yep.
Like that's the number
I
one
believe it,
common
100%. Yeah,
common
yeah.
habit. And this is why, because if you're doing a bunch of different recipes, doing a bunch of different foods, look, you can track, and tracking's good, but you still have to see what happens and you adjust on the actual food you're eating.
Mhm.
So whenever you introduce new stuff, you're just making it harder because you're not necessarily going to know how you're going to react, right?
Mhm.
So then really what it is like you find just what works and then you just repeat it because
Mhm.
that's what's going to get you, what gets you there keeps you there. And it's just easier, right? It's not that it's
Absolutely.
right or wrong and you can do it without doing that. But everyone I know, that's where they land. That's where they end up because it's easier. Um, and then the other thing people don't realize is, when you get there, like the things that you think would make that hard, like, well, I enjoy like variety or that would be boring. It doesn't matter when you get there. You end up actually appreciating and liking those same foods because it's super consistent with how you feel. Your energy levels, your digestion, all that stuff ends up being really consistent. You feel really good. And then that outweighs the variety, right? And really, if you're you're going to go out to eat once a week, you can get something different every time. Like that's going to feel like a ton of variety,
Yep.
and you'll be fine. But the funny thing is, I noticed this when people get the same stuff anyways.
Yeah.
People who eat fast food, people who go out to restaurants, they get like the same one or two things. When you talk to people that are worried about variety, and then you look at their day, you have them food log. It's like you eat the same lunch every day.
Yeah.
What it is like the fear of being like, I can't have what I really want.
Yep.
I think just
It's just
taking
straight up
those-
resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just like to think they have other options.
Because
They
even
want-
you, I mean, you've gotten to the point where like, yeah, you would love eating your lean meat and rice, like,
that was
and,
it.
and I think you might even broke it down to like the same thing 3 times a day.
I had it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I leaned down and
Mhm.
actually abs started showing, it was
Yeah.
that. It was literally the same thing.
Yeah. And the other thing to this too is, and this is brain stuff, but like variety actually leads us to it makes it easier to overeat, right? So you ever notice how, and that's variety within the meal too. So you know how like when you're eating, you could be eating a steak and potato and you get freaking stuffed,
Mhm.
right? But then all of a sudden some dessert comes out
Mm-hmm.
and you taste it and you're like, oh, and you can crush that whole thing, right? But to have another bite of potato, there's no way.
Yeah, you're stuffed, and then
Mhm.
dessert comes out. You're like, oh, I
Yeah.
can make room. Yeah, because that sweet,
Yeah.
amazing
So same
dessert.
thing, you have like these very like abstract meals that's actually just making it harder to not overeat. The variety drives us to overeat a little more. And again, if you're being super pinpoint with like, well, this is my portions, this is what I can eat, so that real if it fits your macros approach, it's really hard to do.
I just don't see how I will be. It's too much thinking, dude.
No, yeah, that's
It's
why I
just
don't
way too
do
much
it.
thinking.
It's funny. Like, I mean, we tell people to track and journal because you have to go through that stage and learn.
Mhm.
But I don't want to do that every day, and I don't. I tell people now. I'm glad I did do it, and I have learned. But now it comes back to I don't have to think. I don't want to have to think. I just like I wake up every day and I don't think about what's for breakfast, what's for
You just eat
lunch.
your breakfast.
There's no decision to make.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm just eating.
Absolutely.
And that's why when I tell people like it's effortless, you know, once you get to a certain body composition, you know what it takes, and then it's effortless. It really is because you're not even thinking, you're just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's same thing with you have like the Mark Zuckerbergs and Bill Gates. They do the same thing with like their outfits, right?
I was
They'll wear
about to
this,
say that
yeah,
right now. Yeah.
they'll wear the same outfit because they don't want to have to decide, oh, what am I going to wear today?
Yeah,
You know?
you use your mind for, especially business owners, for
Yeah.
decision making. You know, for being creative
Mhm.
to create content or whatnot.
Yeah.
No.
And think about it, if you wake up and you're like deciding on all that stuff, yeah, you're gonna like, and then you feel like you're wearing yourself out, you know. So then when you have to, and then you have work decisions, and you know, it's a real thing. That's why go back to the military. That's why they wear uniforms. That's what, you know, like that's why they have cafeterias.
Everybody gets the same haircut, basically. I mean,
There's as little decisions as possible, so you can do your job at a peak level, you know.
That's the next concept, man. I like it.
Yeah, but
military.
it's like we've been reading too many of those business books. Actually, I don't
Yeah.
read a ton of them.
Not anymore.
No,
Did they all say the same thing still?
pretty much. And you know what I do
That's
now?
what I noticed too. It's the same
And it's
thing.
like you can get like what you need to take away. Like you can just go Google a Cliff Note. There's
There's probably like
I just asked Gary. He
300 blog posts with free information that say the same thing
Yeah.
too.
Dude, I haven't read one in like probably since I've been home at least, and
Yeah.
it's probably 2 or 3 years. But every now and then I'll hear about a good one or someone will recommend it, and I just go Google the Cliff Notes on it, and then get like the 2 bullet points that even matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and
I
really,
don't-
someone like me, I should be reading more fiction. You know, something to like
Yeah.
rest and chill. I don't need to be
Mhm.
like thinking about
Adding
business
more.
stuff.
Yeah.
So,
You don't like fiction books, do you?
I mean, when I get into them, I do.
Okay.
When was
But
the last fiction?
I don't
book that
think
you
it's
read?
that I dislike them. I'll tell you in a second. It's that so just you know how we have people who don't want to do yoga because it's a challenge to shut their brain off. Same thing.
Yeah.
Telling me to read fiction means take 2 hours or 3 hours away from thinking about
To just relax.
yeah, which is hard.
Go like
hard
you,
to
you
do.
have to go to a different world, and that scares you.
Yeah. So the last one I read was Hunger Games.
Okay.
Okay.
Like when it came out,
Dude,
or
one
recently?
day it was probably when it was out, but not right away. But Alexis had it. It was sitting on the desk or on the kitchen table, and I was like bored one day. It might have been a Saturday, and she was out of town, and I was like,
Just you and Arnie.
yeah. And I
What are we
looked at
gonna
it, and
do?
I was like, what, you know? And I picked it up, and then just started reading, and just devoured them, dude.
Mhm.
And then was so sad when it was over. I
Dude,
was,
it's
you wanted
tough.
more.
I was in the world.
Dude, like when a book or a show ends that you were really into, dude, it feels terrible.
Mhm.
Like it feels awful. It's like you just broke up with somebody. Like when God, what show is it? I don't even remember what show it was. Like when Game of Thrones was over, it was tough, but like it kind of ended terribly. So I don't know. That'd be like your girlfriend cheating on you, so it ended, and you're like, meh, whatever. Like it makes it easier. But dude, like the Harry Potter books, like growing up, I read all of them. Like first in line at the bookstore at midnight to get the book. And dude, when that was over, that was rough. That was like a chapter of your childhood has ended, and that wears on you.
Yeah. So, you want to talk a little, John, about moving on before we just start shedding tears? But hey, there's nothing wrong with
Almost-
guys talking and
I almost cried.
shedding tears over young adult novels.
yeah.
So recently, I know having the business and is always growing. There's always stress there, and then like you had homeowner problems,
Mhm.
which everyone deals with. There's always something to do with that, and then you were struggling to get in the gym, right?
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
like, how did that feel?
Horrible. That's good and bad about being consistent now in the gym is you kind of said it really is a lifestyle. You know, hear it and it's like whatever, but it is a lifestyle. It changes your life. Like
Mhm.
I need to be active. I would like to do it every day, but I know for me it works 3 times a week, and consistent. And when I don't, it does throw me off. It just throws me off completely. Um, and so just yesterday was my first day back I was out for I think 2 to 3 weeks. And honestly, like I just been off. I just know I'm off and I need to get back. It's just part of my day.
Yeah.
I need it.
So does it mess up your overall routine
Absolutely.
when you don't have your gym time?
100%.
Yeah. Like nothing else flows right.
Nothing. No,
Yeah.
honestly, it doesn't. Because
I'm the
I mean,
same way.
even my food, everything. And when I started working out in the morning, people think I'm crazy, but it just sets my day actually.
Mm-hmm.
So when I knock it out at 4:30 in the morning, it's like I just feel better. I feel awake. I'm ready. So
And you've already accomplished something.
already,
Like
it's a
boom,
win.
Yeah.
check.
It's already done. So I'm done before my kids wake up. That's my routine. So I'm awake. So I have my youngest is 18 months. So he's when he wakes up, he's on go. So I need to be awake. I need to be on point. Um,
How old are all your kids?
so I got an 18 months. I have a 6-year-old and I have a 9-year-old.
Man, you got a wide range there.
I
I know.
have yeah two together, and then the little one.
Yeah. So you probably need. I mean, how do you juggle all that?
And going back to the gym, like honestly, the gym, it's not only the workout, but it's also like sometimes I just like
Let me.
the social aspect. I mean, it's beyond. It's a huge part of my life. Like to be honest with you, like I need it.
Like it's decompression.
It's therapy. It's hanging out with other people. Not talking and to my kids. I love my kids, but and that's part of the barbershop too. I just human interaction with adults.
Yeah.
Like I said, I taught for 10 years, so it was always teenagers. I need that adult time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how people don't exercise, like for all those reasons, right?
Yeah.
It's
Same.
it's interesting because I see so many people. I've been talking about this on my Instagram a lot and been getting good feedback, which hopefully people shift. And I mean, you're a good example because your mindset is what I believe to be correct, where we want people to be, which is like exercise is not punishment.
Not
So
at
many
all.
people get into exercise because they want to lose weight and feel better, but so it's to them, but it's like I ate bad this weekend, I need to do double time at the gym.
Not
I
at
need
all.
to do this, and it just becomes this loop of exercise as punishment, right? When really no, exercise should be like you time. You should be you should be able to enjoy it and not dread it, not let it bring you down.
Mm-hmm.
Not even it should have nothing to do with I ate cheesecake,
Mm-mm.
and then you think about exercise, and it should be like no, this is part of my day. This is like gives me
Yeah.
Oh,
so
it gives you
so much,
it's so, and I told you, like before the business, before all that, like it was a gym that kind of spiral my life in a good direction. It's
Mhm.
it's just being consistent, being setting that time for myself. Now I do a lot of more self development. Taking time for
Yeah.
myself. Um, i- you benefit 100 times. I mean, it's anybody who doesn't work out, you just get to a gym. Especially I would say not just working out, but also having a coach like you guys, having an environment that you've created. It literally changes your life for the
Yeah.
best. And if you have a lot of responsibilities, being a parent, being a business owner,
Mhm.
being a spouse, you need to be on your A game. And I feel like this sets you up for that.
Yeah. And more, and you see it with, um, you know, especially with women, as they enter the workforce and have babies, but then they get right back to taking that time out for themselves because it's even a lot harder for them, I've noticed, because there's just like stigma, right? Of
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
oh, you have young kids and you're away from them
Yeah.
at any point.
Yeah, like they're not a human being anymore. Like-
When in actuality it's like no, like I mean, you're recharging. Like you wouldn't take your cell phone and just not
Let
ever
it drain.
charge. Like it would just burn out, or
Mhm.
it's bad to just plug it in just for you need to recharge.
Mhm.
Yep.
Um,
All the time. So you
to
can
be at your best.
Yeah, to be a better parent and to deal with your stress better and to physically be in a healthy place too. Like that's
Yeah.
super important, man.
And that too, like working out, like we said, there's extremes on social media. You want to work out and get that sweat and do the hit
Mhm.
workouts. But for me, is setting in my day, but also being ready. Like I feel confident. Like if I had to literally pick up my 3 kids and run out of the house, I could do it. If
Yeah.
if I had to pick up my wife and run, I could do that. If somebody fall,
Yeah.
like
You have to
I
be
feel strong. I
physically
need to be like ready. I can
capable.
sprint. Yeah, because somebody comes in with I'm sprinting and I feel confident. I could probably outrun him.
Yeah.
Maybe a block or two, but I'll be safe.
That's all it
And I
takes,
think
man.
that's part. Yeah, I think that's part of working out. There's a
Yeah.
purpose.
There's
'cause-
confidence in
yeah.
physical capability.
Absolutely.
And that's where like the Instagram, we could do a whole podcast on that, becomes such a problem because I mean, and it's cool. Like you'll see these guys who are, uh, bench pressing with one arm, a barbell with 4 bikini girls on each end, and doing and then
How come we don't do that here?
yeah. But then people see all that stuff. That's what they see all the time. And then they think if they just go to the gym and work out and it's not this like life-changing thing, that it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And what's even the point? But dude, if you just go in and you do some dumbbell bench press and yeah, you're just pressing 40s. No one's ever gonna, you're not gonna, it's not gonna get any 10,000 likes on
Yeah.
Instagram, but like you're doing it for yourself. You're just doing something basic. You feel energized. When you leave, it gives you more than it takes away. And then after a couple months, you're stronger. You're more physically capable. And that's the thing. The gym isn't this like matrix. Like if you're getting stronger in the gym, you will be physically stronger outside the
Yes.
gym. And that's a great thing. But now it's just like people. It's like, well, what's the point if I can't be this person and do these things?
Yeah.
There's no point, right?
Yeah. Which is why that's like never playing football because you'll never be,
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Well, most of us aren't going to be Tom Brady.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't play football as a kid or even play like pickup basketball because I'm
Or
not going to be
learn to play the
LeBron.
guitar because you're not going to be Jimi
Yeah.
Hendrix.
Maybe just do it so you can do it
Yeah.
and better yourself. Like that's
Hey, they're not going to barbecue because they're not going to be Bobby Flay.
Oh.
does he barbecue?
Ooh.
Oh.
Is it
Ugh.
sad that when I think of barbecue and I was trying to think of someone famous, that's who I
That's
thought
who-
of?
You didn't think of like Guy Fieri?
Nah, man. I'm not even. Nah. That guy.
Hey, I should be that for Halloween.
Nah.
Goatee,
Yeah, there you
spiked
go.
hair.
There you go.
Bro, I could do it.
Just talk like him.
Just have samples in your.
It would take me like a week to get into that character.
And then you never come out.
Yeah, and then I just coach like that forever,
That's the risk. You
wearing a visor and a
Yeah,
flame
no.
shirt.
Doesn't he have a restaurant down in Hampton?
Dude, he has
He
like
has a
two.
few.
He has
Yeah.
he has the
He has the taco spot,
the
right?
taco spot,
Come on, man.
and then he has the barbecue place in Norfolk.
Yeah. At the.
I've heard it's all right.
Dude, all those places don't last very long. I feel like they're missing some.
They're missing the love, man.
Yeah. And nowadays you have the independent places that just, they have that love.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Just like us versus, the global gym,
Hmm We got the love.
But yeah,
Back to the basics, man.
yeah. But that's why I love, having you here, John, and you're a great example of, what exercise like means kind of as a keystone habit in your life. And, we didn't even really touch on this, but that's what drove you to eventually quit your job and open the barber shop, was coming here and changing your mindset. And,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
Actually, yeah.
So it's been fun to
Yeah.
watch.
That was wild.
That
It has been cool to
was
watch,
intense,
though.
man.
I feel like we've all been part of it.
You have. You literally have.
It's been neat.
Yep. Well, yeah. Do you have anything else you want to?
Now, if you are hesitant, I would say give it a shot. If you have not been through the doors here at Coastal, literally reach out to Gary, Will, anybody in the crew. Just try it. I'm convinced you belong here.
Yep.
And if you haven't checked out my shop,
Yeah.
do the same.
Yeah, what are you on social?
At the proper barbershop VA. Or the proper
Yeah.
barbershop
the
VA
tag.
at
Yeah.
gmail.com. Yeah.
If you're on the peninsula, especially,
Yeah,
check them out.
It's in Port Warwick.
Yeah,
Right in Port
I would
Warwick,
make an appointment.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Appointment.
if you walk in, you're probably not going to get cut because they're pretty busy. So
Mhm.
make an appointment online. They take care of all of us.
Yep. And if you go on a Thursday at 1-ish, well, not anymore because we do the podcast.
Yeah, I go on Fridays now.
Will
Yeah, you
will be
do
there.
it. Yeah.
Will and myself will be
Yeah,
there. on
Fridays,
Fridays, yeah.
2:00. That's the time.
Maybe I'll just
Yep.
take the mics, the golden mics.
Yeah.
and do
I
some there.
mean, do a
Cool.
podcast while you get cut.
Yep.
That
Not a
sounds
bad
like,
idea. Yeah, I was
that sounds like
oh.
a lot of work.
Yeah. Oh, you're zzz.
Oh
right.
man.
So yeah, hit us up on social, and if you have any questions for John or you want to pass along anything, you can DM us, email us,
Whatever.
hit him up on social, and yeah, we appreciate you guys listening. We will be back next week as always.
Later.
Holler.
Peace.
As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.